The coroner's report, big news over the CHSLDs and just how bad things were, pointing some fingers at who might be responsible as well. This is the coroner's report, or parts from it, I guess, that have come out, including some, as I said, some dismal handling of people during the pandemic at various CHSLDs. Remember, 53 people dying at the Heron, 4,000 people roughly died in these senior centers, the worst record of all in the entire country. Aaron DERFEL, of course, the man who blew the whistle on what was going on at the Heron, on the line right now. Aaron, I want your reaction to what you already have heard, have seen in this report.
Already there are some repercussions because Lynn McVeigh, the president and executive director of the West Island Health Authority, it was announced today that she's leaving her position at the end of July. So this report is already having an impact because the coroner had singled out Lynn McVeigh for criticism. So I think it's a very thorough report. 200 pages, 23 recommendations. So it does name names and it's quite thorough. My only caveat is that she didn't go above the level of the West Island Health Authority or the CUS. There's some accountability at the ministerial level, and that's where I think she could have gone further.
Meaning what? What should she have done, in your opinion, here?
Well, she didn't. What emerged in my investigation, other journalists, is that, before my article appeared, there were the health minister, Daniel McCann, and the minister in charge of seniors, Margaret Blake. They were aware of the severity of the crisis before at the Heron before my article appeared, and some deputy ministers, and they had held meetings on the subject. They knew that the government trusteeship wasn't going well. They were worried that this might get leaked to the press, and so none of that came out in the report. But it did come out in some of the news articles. And that's my only caveat. Otherwise, this is a superb report that lays bare the severe shortcomings of our elder care system in Quebec.
Aaron, you say there should be more accountability. Do you think there will be more accountability?
Another recommendation by the coroner is, and this is quite shocking, that there were physicians at the Heron and I think two other nursing homes who had refused to come in and treat the residents during outbreaks. They preferred to do telemedicine. Mm-hmm. And, certainly after my article appeared, the next day the doctors came in at the Heron. Her recommendation is that the Quebec College of Physicians review the practice of these physicians. So, again, there's some accountability there. The coroner's inquest was the sixth investigation to the Heron. And before the pandemic, there had been multiple reports exposing, the neglect of seniors in long-term care. And so, no charges were laid. Nothing happened. And so, at least today with the announcement of the imminent departure of Lynn McVeigh, accountability to some extent is being achieved.
Yeah. You mentioned you mentioned Lynn McVeigh, for example, people who were mentioned in this report. From what I've saw or what I've read anyway, Marguerite Blais gets off pretty easily, only from the sense that the suggestion is that things were so disorganized there and within the government, it's hard to blame a person like that for trying to do what she wanted to do because she was not acting in a vacuum. Yes,
precisely. So that's a great point. You'll recall at the beginning of the pandemic in the winter and spring of 2020, there was chaos, there was great fear and panic. We didn't have a vaccine. We weren't really testing people. So the strategy at the time was to protect the hospitals. And what the coroner, Kamel, noted is that Margaret Blais was pleading for more support for the CHSLDs, for the long-term care centers, and she wasn't getting it. And, what we saw, sadly, is that the virus spread through long-term care. So that was, this is where the coroner finds that Blais' testimony was very, very credible. However, as I pointed out earlier, Blais' inner circle knew of the severity of the crisis at the Heron days before my article appeared and was slow to act. So this is something that I think could have been better highlighted in the report.
Should there no longer be private CHSLDs?
That's another recommendation in that report. And in Quebec, we have fully public CHSLDs, And then you have two types of private ones that get subsidies from the government and so are regulated, and then another 40, including what was the heron, that were fully private that did not receive any government subsidies. So the recommendation is to convert those fully private CHSLDs into private ones that receive subsidies and therefore can be regulated. And she does question that, right? And there were attempts by the local government to do this precisely to close the loophole on fully private CHSLDs that are not at all under, being regulated by the government.
I have one other question with respect to, this report. A lot of us were talking about the fact that so many people are asking for public consultations. That's obviously not a recommendation here. It's not the coroner's job. What do you think is likely to happen there? Do you think we'll have finally a public consultation, a full public consultation?
Oh, yes, an independent public commission, which the opposition has been clamoring for months. Realistically, I strongly doubt that the local government, just months from an election, is going to hold a commission that could prove embarrassing. And then, as all polls indicate, the government will probably be reelected. They're going to be reluctant to hold a commission even then. The coroner, in her report, talks about her report is not the last final word. She wants there to be some type of, she didn't use the terms independent commission, but some type of, a further accounting, a chronology of what happened. And I think that would be a good idea because people are still, I think, shifting blame. And when an independent commission is held, there's more transparency. So, but will it happen? I strongly doubt it.
All right, we got to go. Last question I have. In this report, from what you saw, does the coroner come down on the owners of the heron specifically, because they were in the crosshairs for quite a while?
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, very few people escape blame. The doctors refused to show up to treat the residents, to the owners of the heron who had been criticized, in previous reports prior to the pandemic, to the management of West Island Health Authority. So very few people escape some type of accountability.
Aaron, I want to thank you for the time. Always appreciate it.
My pleasure.